We're early. What do you know? We're early.
Yeah. I mean, technically.
Hey, it still said 10 seconds to go when it went live.
Oh man, welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome to
It's
the
cool,
frozen
dude.
tundra. Welcome to the frozen tundra that is the United States currently.
Yeah, I'm uh, I'm transitioning to what do they call that? Lumber sexual. The
Yeah,
flannel. I've
yeah,
not done anything in like a week and a half.
yeah,
Chilling.
yeah. Well, I looked at the weather earlier, and you have like a 60% chance of snow flurries tonight in
dude.
Texas.
Dude, so what I've learned living down here, this is a lot like South Bend weather. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
I mean, cool if we do any amount of snow that is possible down here is not gonna worry me one bit.
no,
But
and it'll be gone in a couple hours anyway.
yeah,
It
yeah, we'll get that.
minus 32 teleguided minus 32 C in Quebec. It is minus 8 in northern Indiana right now.
Well, that's Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
Fair.
minus 8 Fahrenheit in northern Indiana. I don't know what minus 32 is in Frankenstein
It's
dungarees.
like -60.
Yeah, I don't.
No, we're showing our metric ignorance.
Yeah,
Um,
um, yeah. So I missed last week. So the week before, I always have interesting, wild, weird weeks. My weeks are never normal, right? So um, last week, well, I guess it would be over a week ago, Sunday. Um, my buddy Sean that races Ultra Four with the 4800 car. His wife is his wife is pregnant. Was pregnant, and he was not going to be racing King of the Hammers. Our buddy Matt is going to race Sean's 4800 car for him. Well, Sean texted me on Sunday morning over 8 days ago and said, "Hey, my wife woke up this morning and said today's the day. I need you to finish my race car." And I said,
perfect.
"Shit." Okay. So I went over there on Sunday or like just before lunchtime on Sunday, and went over the list with him of everything that he had done and everything that needed done. And basically, that Sunday there was only like an hour worth of work that I could do to the car because everything was still waiting on parts. I'm like, that's of course that's how it goes. And Matt needed that race car in his trailer on Friday. So between Sunday and Friday, I worked every night from 5 p.m. to 10, 11, 12 p.m., 1 a.m., whatever, 12 a.m., whatever, getting that 4800 car put back together so that it could go in the trailer on Friday. And it is now on the lake bed at King of the Hammers.
Oh
So I
wow,
got that accomplished.
yeah, nice.
They left Saturday morning at like 9 o'clock Eastern time, and they got to Hammers today at like 3 o'clock Eastern time, but they stayed in Barstow last night and then went to Walmart and did a bunch of shopping and shit this morning. So realistically, it could have been at Hammers last night. So that's done. Um,
They stayed a night in
Still,
Barnesville.
yeah, it's not that bad.
uh, it was an interesting place.
Yeah, it's not that bad. That Razor engine, still no No update on that at all. I haven't heard a single word from that guy, which is concerning. I've
The
called him like
builder
10, like,
or the
yeah,
customer? Oh,
the builder. I've called him like 10 times in the last 5 business days. Hasn't answered the phone a single time. Hasn't called me back and hasn't texted me back.
huh.
So
Maybe
that's another
he's
piece of
maybe he's busy. He's got something
maybe
going
he's
on.
maybe he's busy or he's sick or something. Um. Anyway, so that's been my last 10 days or so is that, and both of us have been getting severs out the door.
Dude, so busy.
Yeah.
Actually.
Um, I packaged the last of the severs on my end this morning or this afternoon. They're on the counter. I didn't make it to the UPS store before they closed today, but they will all be out the door tomorrow. So, but the number of people who have asked if their sever has shipped makes me wonder if tracking didn't automatically send emails because
We've had
there
quite
was
a bit.
yeah, like way more than normal. So I'm wondering if there was an issue with like synchronizing that data.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway,
I wonder if it takes like a business day. I don't know. I don't know.
not usually. That's I mean when you input the tracking information, it should auto generate an email. I don't know if it went to everybody's spam mail or what because it is an automated email, so it could get kicked to spam. But Barstow is pretty much the worst. I'll stay in Barstow over Victorville. Well, when I say staying in Barstow, I mean you pulled in the Walmart parking lot and slept in the toter home. So
Right.
it's not like you left your shit parked somewhere random or outside a hotel. You're literally in it the whole time. UPS was closed today. Well, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. But regardless, I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't going to make it to UPS anyway. So, TikTok was dead for 12 hours the other night. Not that that matters much to anybody,
Yeah. What is that?
right? I use it, but it didn't affect me at all that it went away for a few hours. Um, Other than that, it's just been business as usual. Oh, one more U-Haul truck got the fuel tank drilled the other day.
Sick.
Yeah, super cool. And then Friday, it was Friday. Uh, their realtor showed this place to a group of like 6 people, which was a little unnerving. Um, and when I asked one of the gentlemen in this group of people what what they were wanting to do. Like, are you guys gonna keep things running, or what are you doing? And the guy started to talk like oh well, we're gonna, and then the realtor cut him off, and all she
Oh,
said was something more community oriented.
subdivision. That's subdivision talk.
I mean, that could mean anything from a soup kitchen to a warming center to a strip mall to, I mean,
Eh,
anything.
I'm used to aggressive Austin land development. That's subdivision talk.
Well, directly across the street is the trailer park that's getting knocked out.
For a subdivision.
They well, it is, but
God. Nah, go ahead.
it's they're taking the trailers out, and then what the hell is the president that just died? Carter. Uh,
Oh, yeah,
on
Carter.
the other side, of the trailer park, there's a Jimmy Carter homes project. It's like I don't want to say Section 8, but it's like lower income homes that the people have to buy. But there's certain like loan assistances, and there's a lot of rules and regulations that go with, like they have
Sure.
to maintain certain things and whatever, and so they're knocking the trailer park down to put those houses in. Um, they're not tiny. They're not tiny houses. Checkered. They're like, I'd say 1,000 to 1,500 square foot, 2 bedroom, 1.5 bath houses with like a detached 1 car garage. They're very cookie cutter houses, but from
Uh,
somebody upgrading from a trailer park, they're a really nice brand new house. So I don't know. We'll see. Time to move. Well, I'm hoping that. So in the, I gotta be careful about what I say. I can't say too much, but in the contract, there are certain stipulations involving my lease agreement and certain timelines that involve my lease agreement. That if if the buyer doesn't want me to remain, that they have to basically pony up X amount of dollars for moving assistance and a time frame also, so that I don't have to try to come up with tens of
so
thousands of dollars to move machines in 30 days. So
yeah,
um, the exact amounts of that I'm not
yeah.
gonna discuss, but yeah, it doesn't matter. But just know that moving machines is very expensive, and hooking machines up is very expensive. So
And then
um,
finding another like building that already hopefully has three phase is going to be
yeah,
probably not a smaller property either. You're gonna have to. That's only going to be available in like a large.
yeah. So that's my biggest issue around here is that I need big power, but I need small square footage, and everything around here that has big power is, you know, 20 to 50,000 square feet, and I need like less than 5,000 square feet.
Yeah,
So yeah,
dude, that freaking semi startup I worked at. Now they're just doing the little generator. So with the complex manifolds, they use additive printers. That building was like half of a Walmart, and that didn't even have three phase. They had to bring in three phase when they bought or leased whatever they're doing. These
yeah,
I think they got like 6 or 8 GE additive printers, but they had to bring three phase into this huge building, like you said, probably
yeah,
60,000 square foot.
yeah,
Like most buildings don't come with three phase because that's really not cheap to like. Not
yeah.
everyone needs that.
I can run things on phase converters and whatever. I just would prefer not to. Um, it's an extra expense. Phase converters are not efficient. Um, this machine behind me, the power requirements of this machine behind me, plus the phase converter needed to run it, are more than what a household takes. So, and no, my Jeep will not tow a lathe. Well, my Jeep would tow the Swiss, but my Jeep will not tow this machine. Hell, my truck, my half-ton Ram, really didn't even like the bar feeder for this lathe. I pulled that back from Ohio, and it wasn't super pleased with it. Ballpark, what are rents in that area? Rent around here um, depends on whether it's just commercial or industrial, really. Um, but $8 to $12 a foot. Um, we probably are too far along to know what was that. I don't know. Must have been a noise or something. Hobby shop and indoor crawler course time? No, I got the patience for that. higher risk to machine. I mean, potentially, but not like people run phase converters on these things all the time. It's not a super risky thing to run machines on phase converters. It's just buying phase converters and the extra electricity they use. So it's yeah, that's been the stressor of the last. Well, I want to know when did I say this was for sale? A month and a half ago or something like that. That it was officially posted for sale.
Yeah, it's been man.
This is the
First month.
third.
Oh,
This has been the third showing to people, but this was the first like group of people, which was weird. Like they were all dressed. They were dressed like nicer than blue collar, but not suit and tie. You know what I mean? Like
like
they weren't.
I might have a mill, but I don't.
They were like North Face jackets and clean blue jeans and not like dress shoes, but nicer than work boots shoes.
Oddly specific.
Yeah, It was hard to read them, and then yeah, and then the realtor not letting them talk was interesting also.
I think that's actually we were just talking about that today at work. My coworker's selling his house, and she was showing somebody while he was there, and then she said or he said she was looking at him like crazy when he started talking to the buyer, and he's like, or when the buyer started talking to him, she was looking at him crazy, and like
Yeah,
told him maybe that's
yeah,
just
like
a
don't
normal.
just shut up, don't talk.
Yeah, I'm the seller
Uh,
here.
yeah, and you would think that like if they were intending to keep me here, they'd be interested in knowing what I do, how long I've been here, try to make a relationship, a quick handshake and a hi, how's it going type of thing. But like, it was really really weird.
If it's like a
So
big, if it's like a, if those are just like um, somebody working. Maybe they're there looking at the property for someone. Like they're probably not.
man, there was too damn many of them. There was 7 people in this group plus the realtor. So it was weird. How many companies share the building? Just me and the U-Haul dealer, who is the owner of the building. So it's just me and the owners of everything. Don't be too honest. You might fuck up. Nothing fucks up a good deal like a great lawyer. Isn't that what the nothing fucks up a great deal like a good lawyer? Oh, you're brave clipping that.
What?
Are you putting it straight in the thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was
Well,
gonna say I never clip that until I'm ready to use it.
oh yeah. Well, I think so. To be totally honest, I think the initial spool filament I learned, and then I was like, oh, it's like welding wire because the same thing applies to that too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So do you run? Did you just put that in the dryer, or you run it? You run it out of the dryer straight into the machine?
Um, it's not heating, but it does give me a humidity like readout that inside here. So I plan on leaving that. So I have PLA on the back spool, I guess. So I got PLA sitting on the back, and then I just put this carbon fiber PLA in there because that's kind of if I'm gonna print my like nicer stuff, I'm gonna use this so I want it dry. But if I'm just rapid prototyping something, I'll just do it out of the regular PLA.
Gotcha.
And it's usually not a structural piece. It's just, does this fit? Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Um, but dude, I got some ABS, some glass filled ABS. This is great. If someone's gonna do bodies, get it out of that because I'm doing a second gen for Jonathan. But man, this is like the standard print, like the 2/10 of a millimeter height. So it's not like the fine. It's just like kind of a quicker one, but this stuff is pretty stout. It, I did I did dry it out before printing, so it's not quite as like easy as regular PLA, but that stuff printed out super nice. So if anybody's looking to
Hmm.
do bodies, grab that ABS with the glass fill. Recommended. I think it's like $5 more than the regular ABS. You'd be silly not to get the gloss filled
Hmm.
one, and it
Yeah.
it doesn't warp as much either. I don't think anything on this body warped at all. I was pretty impressed with it because remember I was trying that ASA.
Yeah.
I was like, I am not printing bodies. That's how fed up I was with that. But this thing kind of brought it back. I was like, okay, cool. So this turned out pretty good. I gotta print the nose, but I'm gonna print the testers. I went and redid all of the Sever sliders last night. Actually, I was up till like 1. So I'll tell you why. This is what happened. So I have the base, so I have the frame, and then I have the slider sketches and the bottom contour of the frame. I try to follow for every slider. Well, I was like, I'll just do that all in one sketch, and then select each section and extrude it. A little tedious, but I don't have to keep redoing that bottom frame contour.
Hmm.
So when I make a body, a slider, I would export it and then hide it and then start another one, extrude it, cut it, whatever. Well, when I do
Yeah.
that, the hidden body, I was cutting sections out of the one I made
Uh,
previous. So when I went to alter the other two sliders, there's little slivers of bodies left.
damn
So
it.
I had to redo them all. And then when I got done with one, I would move it down and get it out of the way. So I
Yeah.
don't know. You live, you learn. But I was like, oh, this is super efficient. I'll just hide it. But when you hide it, it's
It's
still
still there.
there.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I extrude, I'm just wiping out sections of it. So that was annoying. But so what I did all it's primarily for the Sever reefer, but it will work on the C1, same skid area. Um, but I went ahead and redid them, and I moved. There, you'll have you'll have two sets of body mounting holes. One is 5 millimeters back, in case you run a bigger tire. Your wheel arch is further back. Should work. That's why I'm printing this to look, but um, because I was just gonna like say, hey, here's the body mount, like we have done for every other truck, or like I think the C1 sliders. But I was like, maybe people will run bigger tires, and maybe you don't have to cut the wheel wells out. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
options, people love options.
One of my Sever C2 sliders broke at the front screw cutout in shipping. No big deal, doesn't affect anything other than looks, just letting you know. Thin area on the edge. How in the hell did that break in shipping? Like, everything's packed in a big long bag. The thin area on the edge.
The C1.
Ah, two. Email me, email us, me, whatever. I have an extra. I have two extra sets. So email me on that because obviously your screen name doesn't match your order name. So
What
that's
could
curious.
possibly? It's probably the that channel. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is pretty thin, but like, I'm curious. Like, dude, they would have to. That box would have had to been fucked because like the way I packed everything. I'll show you. So this is an S2. So it's the frame rails, the DSM, the skid, and the parts trays, and then the sliders. And in the box, it's folded over like this and taped to the bottom of the box. So like, what did the box look like? How in the hell did that happen? But anyway, I have a set for you. If you would like them, just email. I'll send them to you. Also, I fucked up on the S2s. I forgot that we had put a pair of these in the description, and I had only sent out one with the very first batch of the S2s that went out. So I also need to send you one of those. So just email and I'll get you this and that. I mean, it could be from the cold, but like this is nylon. It shouldn't. I mean, it's pretty thin, but like the ones I have in my hand are kind of flexible there. Like I can push on it, I can bend it, but it's not broken, not breaking. Just weird. The box was fine too. Weird. Whatever. Send an email. I'll get you another set and the electronics tray, electronics plate, whatever. I got my S1 done. I think I'm going to add just a tick of a rear bend on the rear links so that it matches the drive shaft. Because, I mean, it's pretty close to matching the drive shaft, but, like, I want to get that last 2 millimeters out of the rear links to get me up to the same height as the drive shaft. But I've been beating the brakes off this thing after hours here in the shop. I changed from a set of foams to the Injora silicone inserts in these tires, and yeah. I gotta say I don't hate it so far. I tried 3D printed foams, and I did not like 3D printed foams, so I was kind of worried that I wouldn't like these. But so far, I like these way better than printed foams.
So is it like a big thing of silicone, or is it a small inner and then like a foam outer, or how is that?
No, it looks like a 3D printed foam, single stage 3D printed foam.
Okay, but it's silicone.
But it's silicone.
Dude, if you're doing like mass foam, foam production, like silicone would be worth it in the long run if you're doing like a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's this.
Oh, okay.
So I got the green color, which I don't remember. I would have to get on Injora's website to see whether the green is softer or harder. I don't remember. But I know that most of my Sorca-based comp trucks land in that like 5 to 5 3/4 pound range, totally pointed out. But this truck, even though it's a Class 1, I'm going to do a Lexan body on. So I think this truck is probably going to land right around the 5 pound mark. So I went with the softer one of the two. I think the green is the softer. I also have in my Harley Designs Pro Mod buggy, the Rockabilly, I have a set of blues in those Yokohamas. I don't think I like them in that tire. But in the Hyrax, Predator Hyrax, the greens seem okay. The blues in the Pro Mod in the Vanquish Yokohamas, I think, is a little too soft because it's a 7 pound, 7.5 pound truck. I think they're probably a little too soft. I think I may want to go to the hard compound one because the tire's very soft and it's a 7 pound truck. So I think it needs a little more. One major thing I noticed between a printed foam, which was whatever the most common one on Colts 3D was, it's like a two-piece printed foam. You can print the center in a different diameter and anyway, it's two-stage foam. The biggest difference I noticed between that printed foam and these is that the front tires on the printed foams seemed like it wanted to just push the front end. It didn't want to let the tire kind of roll and bite a little bit. I still, the sidewall support's fantastic on printed foams, but I feel like it doesn't let the edge of the tire work as well. Where these silicone inserts kind of have a rounded edge to them, and it doesn't push nearly as bad as the printed foams did. In my Jimmy's buggy, I have the Vanquish 2-stage foams, and they work really well. So I'm either going to order a set of red silicones for the Rockabilly, or I'm going to order a set of Vanquish dual-stage foams like are in these. I haven't decided yet. But I also need to figure out what 12.3-inch Lexan body I want to try to run in a Class 1 type setup. Because Reaction Hobbies in Grand Rapids and down at Abner in Indy or Lebanon, they run Lexan stuff, so I don't necessarily need a pointed out hard body. Does Crawlapalooza require a hard body Class 1? I think they do. But their hard body rules are so lax that they let foam bodies in, so.
Yeah, I've not actually even looked because all my trucks are hard bodies. I don't.
Yeah. I don't remember whether their rules are hard body or not.
I don't think I've ran a Lexan body there in like 3 or 4 years.
Theron says yes, so I'm pretty sure. Jake Ferkel says define hard.
Yeah.
Abner is such a fun place. I want to get over there more this year. I definitely have fun with the buggies down there. So I want to get down there with a Class 1 or Class 2 truck also. Obviously, I'm building the Class 1. So, but if I were going to build this as a Class 2, I would build it exactly the same, just with a different set of tires. So I really could just take my 475s from either the Rockabilly or this Jimmy's buggy and run them. Anyway, just says no Lexan. Well,
but if my windows are working,
yeah, I'll have I would have to just figure out I'll have to do a hard body when I have to, I guess. But damn, I just cut the shit out of my finger on something on this bench. Something poking out of my work mat here. It's probably because I drill and cut and grind and whatever on that. Damn. Locally, also, not that many of us care about ball sports, but Notre Dame's in the national championship, and they're playing right now.
Yeah, my friend Chris, also he's from Mishawaka. There's this little Irish hole in the wall bar we went to. We went there just kind of for fun, randomly, and I was like, dude, this place is packed. We go in, and the game's on the Notre Dame game's on every TV. People in there have Notre Dame jackets on. Dude, I thought I was at Brothers. You remember Brothers?
Hmm.
Out, dude, I thought I was in there. I was like, we're just like looking at each other, and everyone's like, because the owner is Irish, and I'm pretty sure he like communicates with his friends in Ireland. He's like, my guess is he invites them over, like, hey, do you want to come live in Austin? Just get a work visa and work at my pub. Because everyone there, you can barely understand them. Their accents so thick, but
Straight
it's super.
Irish.
Yeah, it's super genuine. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so we went there, and everyone, it was standing room only, but everyone's like freaking balls to the wall on watching this game. It was kind of crazy. He hit me up.
It's
He's like, you think Kelly's will be busy tonight? And I was like, dude, tonight would be impossible.
it's currently 7-7. So
Oh yeah, that place is probably a riot right now.
just started the second quarter at 7-7.
Oh dang.
Yeah, everybody but the state of Ohio is rooting for Notre Dame. Yeah, pretty much. Just glue some styrene to spots. So now that the statute of limitations has expired, my carbon Jeep body on my old Class 1, when I bought that body, I bought it like 3 weeks before Sorka released their new rules, and they changed the minimum thickness for handmade bodies. That's how I got away with the metal matcher bodies counting as a hard body for a long time, was because it's a handmade body, and that carbon Jeep body is technically a handmade body by Jeff Chesney. But enough people started running them, and they were so thin that Sorka changed the rule. Which that's another topic we can talk about in just a second. But anyway, Sorka changed the rule, so I took carbon fiber, roll, fabric, carbon fiber fabric and resin, and I thickened that body along the sides of the body, the tailgate, and the hood, and the grill. Anything that they could measure, I thickened up to the minimum thickness.
We can get some
However,
calipers on it.
yeah, anywhere they could get a set of calipers or a micrometer on, I thickened up to the actual measurement. However, it had a full interior that was sealed to the body, and it had windows in all 4 window openings. So the A pillar, B pillar, and roof, I never thickened up. Because there's no fucking way they were going to measure it ever. Like, they would have to cut my interior out to measure it. And I didn't want the weight up top.
Yeah, so my opinion on that is if that was a drag car, like a tech-in at a fucking drag event isn't going to be that thorough. Like,
No.
not that they're measuring body thicknesses, but like, dude,
No, if the rule is yeah, if the rule is a steel roof and quarters and they can't stick a magnet to it, you're out. But like,
dude, that'd be a fun rule actually.
so
Well,
Street Outlaws.
Yeah.
Street Outlaws, one of the guys did that. He had a full carbon fiber body, and then he took like the thinnest sheet metal he could and skinned the roof and quarters with like the thinnest, just enough that a magnet would stick to it, so that when somebody would check it, hey, it's got a steel roof and quarters on it, but the whole body's carbon.
Yeah.
Like, magnet sticks to it, it's good enough. Oh man, it states hard bodies are required. No Lexan. Well, whatever. I'll figure it out if I need to.
I'll just send you this huge honking second gen Ram body. Oh.
Nope.
I
was trying to.
It's not bad.
I was trying to figure out what body I want to use. I've got a whole bin full of bodies, but the only thing I've got that's really like would be Class 1 legal is the Proline Metric, like the extended cab Toyota Proline Metric body. but like I would have to shorten the bed by like 2.5 inches. Like basically the tailgate would have to be at the rear wheel opening, like the back of the rear wheel opening,
Um,
for me to like it. And like I haven't brought myself to cut that body yet. I
it,
won it at Nationals or ECC like forever ago at the raffle, so it's not like I have any money in it, but like I don't know, I just haven't cut it yet.
yeah. Let alone bastardize it.
Yeah, let alone chop the fuck out of it and still call it a class 1. Looks like it might be full size, Wes. Yeah, that
Oh,
body.
Ram.
It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
she's a big girl.
so funny thing, I've been tinkering around more with this bamboo studio. I can scale that to like 89%. Like I can make it like whatever. It That bamboo studio is pretty user friendly. I'm sure I could
Yeah,
have done that on like the old slicer I used on the old printer, but like it wasn't easily identified for me, the user. So
you want to know what
it's on my
my favorite feature of Bamboo Studio that I don't know if my last slicer that I used on my old printer did it or not. But my favorite feature is the like rotate to like lay it on a specific face instead of sitting there
yeah,
fiddle fucking trying to rotate the model. Like you just click on a face and it auto.
yeah.
That's probably my favorite feature of Bamboo Studio. That and the being able to use the slider to pause a print wherever, and the skip function, being able to skip a failed part. So like if you're printing those shock bushings and there's a failure, like if the set in the middle fails, you can get on Bamboo Studio while the printer is printing and select it and click skip, and it will automatically update and skip that batch of whatever you're doing.
That particular item.
Yeah,
Oh, see, I didn't know. That's cool.
yeah,
So I did have, yeah, I had a whole bed of them. I had like 30 nested, and then like the outer edges, I didn't quite get enough because I was printing with that nylon, and you want to use this glue, this like liquid glue. Anyway, I didn't quite like. There's like three of the bushings or four of the bushings on the edge that I didn't quite get glue on the whole plate, and it started peeling up. So I just stopped the whole print. All the first
yeah.
batch sever orders got like a 2 millimeter tree of bushings. I just tossed in there because I mean they're just gonna go in the trash. So if somebody uses them, cool. If not, throw them in the trash.
Yeah,
It's free.
they're free. Um, the panhard mounts that that I had Tom cut and bend for us turned out really good. Um, with him tumbling and bending and doing all of the finishing, saved me a bunch of time. So I've got a bunch of those for you that I need to mail to you, but I'll probably wait until I get the next skids done for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Which that material's on its way. Because you out of skids, or you have one or two, or
I so if, I guess I'll spill the beans. I think I shipped like two or three of the group twos because
yeah,
I left all but two skids aside in case something happened. I wanted something tangible, like if one got like damaged or whatever in
or
shipping,
lost in shipping.
lost in shipping. So yeah, I think I have two is what I left, which was
Okay.
tough because I was like, if I use the one I've been using as mock-up and used all the skids and frames I have, I could have fulfilled all group two. But I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to use the one I've been. I don't want to ship someone the one I've been mocking up all these parts off of because
Right.
over time you do have those little circle marks on the frame. Um, some people would be totally fine with it. Some people would be like, "What is this?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I agree. I agree 100% with that.
but I was, dude, I I probably have 7 hours into making labels, building the kits, just as you did, and packaging.
Yeah.
But I did get those out by 5 o'clock Friday. The couple, well, there's two of them that shipped kind of local to Austin. They had them the next morning. It was crazy. One guy's
Hmm.
like, one guy messaged, he's like, I didn't get the carrier bearing, and I was like, it wasn't like it. Like technically, by the description that we had up, I didn't have to ship people much. So
Yeah.
please read the description. I don't. Did you
And
update
we,
it?
I did update it. Yeah.
Okay, because I
I
reread it. I was like, oh man. I'm like, no, because I had already ordered all the parts to fulfill, but yeah, no carrier bearings because the one we're kind of tinkering with, it's not near production, so
no.
I don't want to
We rec.
buy a crap ton of those Rhino or whatever Amazon ones.
Yeah.
Someone might have a
I
better one. I don't know. That's the only one I know of.
Yeah. That's the one that the hole spacing is correct on. I had it mocked up in my S1,
Hmm.
but at a 12.3 wheelbase, to go from the trans to the carrier bearing was like a 51 millimeter pin to pin, and then from the carrier bearing to the axle was like a 60 millimeter pin to pin, and the drive shaft angles were all fucky. So I'm like, it spun fine. It didn't like bind at all, but like
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it looked. I'm like, that looks hacked. And
Right. So
like you can't tell me that this clearance on a class 1 is bad. Like that's
right. Yeah. So yeah, I
if
mean
that's not
like
best in class.
um yeah, so I think for 12.3, I don't think too many people, I'm with you, I don't think too many people is gonna find it beneficial.
Yeah.
Maybe like I could probably do a team poll. I bet you more than 70% of our teams running 13. I think Rylan or Jake or someone is like 13.5 to 4. There's some like long trucks
Yeah.
being built. So that's where you'd want that carrier bearing. So I do agree. It's
Yeah.
not
But
for
like
every application, but
12.3 to 12.5.
yeah. So what yeah, with where I was getting with that carrier bearing was like you go longer than 12.5, like even the cut the length drive shafts, you have to kind of get one of those like cheapy like Amazon ones because I think you outdo the length on the deluxe shaft. Unless they make a longer one.
Yeah,
I haven't shopped around recently. I've
I
been
don't
using the
remember
one
the
I have.
exact
It's freaking
length.
awesome.
I don't remember the exact length on the longest deluxe one anymore. I used to have that. I used to have one here, but it's not here anymore.
See, it's crazy. Like El Chapo says, that'd be good on a C2 even. I'm assuming he's talking about the 12.3 wheelbase. Uh,
He's talking about the clearance, I believe.
oh, okay. I was gonna say like the wheelbase, dude. Everyone's gonna vary. Like
So
terrain. It's
I
like a
even
tire.
the C1 Pro. I ran a C1 Pro in Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3. I really, really, really liked the C1 Pro chassis. And it, like, the belly clearance, the belly location, the weight bias, the amount of link geometry available to you, I really liked the C1 Pro. This truck, on my indoor course here, just, my base setup here, this Sever S1 will walk the dog on my C1 Pro. Now, my C1 Pro was set up quite a bit different than this, and my rock course has changed quite a bit because of the Jimmy's buggy, the you know 4-wheel steer, dual dig. Like I've made my rock course a lot harder since the last time I drove my Class 1 truck, but this truck does everything that four-wheel steer Jimmy's buggy does, except like super tight turns, obviously, because dual dig and four-wheel steer.
Yeah.
But this truck on 419s does everything this Jimmy's or this Rockabilly will do without question.
I think that definitely is indicated in like the rule sets for those buggy, like the RCV Rock, like
Yeah.
because it wouldn't take much for someone to do a buggy based off maybe that geometry or that, because you can't have a forward skid or your links have to be the same, right?
No, just no bent links. No bent lower
No,
links.
huh?
Yeah. I'm going to grab my Rockabilly. I'm going to measure the belly clearance on this. Then I'm going to grab my Rockabilly. So the lowest point is going to be the front of the skid. There's really not a good way to do this. Whatever, close enough.
According to Josh, those calipers don't work right anyway.
Yeah. This is going to be fucking impossible. Oh, I need a straight edge. Something long, flat, straight. We'll say 51.4 as I measured it. And $50, 54. So I have 3 millimeters more belly clearance on 419s than I do 475s on the Rockabilly.
That's a pretty good difference there for the
Yeah.
tire size.
Yeah, because I mean when you take into account the tire size difference, it's
Yeah.
massive.
Which is a half inch.
Yeah.
Be quarter inch of tire on the bottom.
I mean you're more than half inch in tire height, 419s to 475s.
Yeah.
Which these particular worn out Hyraxes measure 4155.
I can tell just by looking over here.
Yeah, 4155 to my Yokohamas with silicone inserts at
5 inches.
no. These Yokohamas measure pretty good. I'd call that 4.77.
With it, with the foam.
Yeah, with a silicone insert, an aftermarket silicone insert. So I'd say that's pretty true to size.
I wonder if those silicone inserts will like break in. You think?
I don't know. I've had the set in this Rockabilly since I built it. So
Sure.
those probably have, I don't know, I'd guess 8 to 10 hours on them already, and I haven't noticed a difference.
Yeah. The fastest breakdown of foam is like if you're like you don't have time and you're like, I'm just gonna run the stock Proline foams. They're great the first time, maybe the second go around, but
after that
they're just sinking down.
Yeah. RC Performance Mods. So I'm glad you said this because I'm glad you brought it up. The rod coming out of the end of a caliper can be used for measurement. I blew somebody's mind in the RC industry who manufactures parts. They had absolutely no idea. They thought that these could only measure 2 different ways. There's actually 4 ways you can measure with a set of calipers. So if you're looking at a set of calipers like this, the distance between this tip and this tip, or all the way up, the measurable part of the jaw, the distance here is the same distance as the outside to outside here. It is also the same distance as the front to this jaw here, to this movable jaw. And it's also the same distance from the end of your caliper to the end of the rod.
Dude, so when you were asking about link links, that's how I was doing it. I was just sliding that straight all the way in, like to the into the eyelet, and I was like, I didn't even like. I was like, I'm not taking nothing apart. How can I do this? It's like, oh yeah. So slide in, rod length.
And the reason I blew that person's mind was I was on FaceTime with him and we were talking about links, and I measured a rod end. I measured the threaded area of a rod end with that little rod.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck did you just do? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, how did you just measure that? I'm like, the end of the caliper. He's like, hold on a second, what? I'm like, okay, wait. Are you serious right now? Like, hold on, you're not fucking with me, right? And he's like, no. What did you? I'm like, okay, school's in session.
I'm surprised.
I thought everybody knew, but apparently not.
I opted to grab the really long one at Harbor Freight because I was doing this freaking drive shafts on the severs.
Yeah, I have a set of
8-inch.
These are 0 to 6. I have a set of 6 to 12s, and I have a set of 12 to 24s.
Dang.
The 12 to 24s are real man's calipers there.
Yeah, say I'm outgunned, man. Shoot.
Yeah. They work great as digital scribes. Yeah. They work great as digital scribes. They also work great as adjustable wrenches.
I would never. Yeah, well, yeah.
The Harbor Freight ones.
You can lock it in place.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
I need a 10
micrometers work great as C clamps when you need them.
I need a 12 mil. All right,
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's like a speed square. It really is like a speed square. I mean, a lot of people don't know how to use a speed square either. So,
like a hammer.
Yeah, you can. Have you seen? Speaking of like a hammer, have you seen the dude on Instagram or TikTok or whatever that throws speed squares at trees? Like this dude throws speed squares like they're boomerangs. Nuts! It sounds so cool when they bounce off trees.
Huh.
It's pretty cool. I'll have to see if I can come across it again. I use it to measure the depth of the deluxe transmissions to cut stumpy rotor shafts down to work. Exactly. That is one very good way to use it. Because I had to do the same thing on this. I need to tie this servo wire up. Actually, I need to shorten it, but
I get like that. I'm like, I need to shorten this, and then I'm like, I'll just tie it. Do the curly Q technique.
Let's face it, this particular servo probably will not live in this sever for very long.
Oh,
it's a Holmes SHV 500 LP, but it is the second version that is not direct power. It's only a 3-wire servo, not a 5. So, and I don't have an external BEC on this truck. I have a Castle Mamba Micro X that I said I wasn't going to run because it's noisy. But I turned the BEC in that up to the highest that it would go, which is like 8, call it 8 volts. I don't remember what it actually is. My receiver can handle 3.5 to 12 volts. So my receiver can handle the voltage coming in from the BEC of the speed control, but the servo is still slower than holy hell. So because I'm also only on 3S because of this ESC, I want to change the electronics. I just haven't had the extra to want to spend another $250 on electronics or $300 on electronics.
That's kind of where I'm at with the Forerunner. I think she's ready to get something more than that Mandel Micro. But speaking of servos, did I think it was last week? Did you catch that Holmes Hobbies video he did discussing heat related issues, or was it heat, or was it was just servo failures he's had, but he was relating it to the battery pack size. He's like,
Well,
everyone that sends the gist of it that I got, hopefully I like understood. Hopefully I was picking up what he was putting up. But what I interpreted was everyone that sends him a warranty servo that's dead or whatever happened, he said that he likes to try and get what their setup is. And the common factor he sees is these like 300 milliamp or smaller batteries, or sorry,
yeah,
380, like that.
it's sub 500 milliamp
Yeah,
hour 4S packs. Yeah, which is wild because that's
yeah.
what I've been running for 4 years. I have never had a servo failure ever, and I run the shittiest BECs you can buy on Amazon. Um, and like El Chapo said, it's voltage spike issues. It's basically the battery can't absorb the voltage back into itself fast enough, and it fries the servo. Is
So,
what they've come up with.
so I was trying to figure out the couple homes that I have. They get like that LP
Hot,
650, dude. They're almost like I can't. I have mechanic hands, dude. I
yeah,
can touch like when a server's like, be careful, the plate's hot. I'm like, yeah, no big deal.
yeah.
But some that servo sometimes gets so hot that I'm like, ooh, I can't even like have my finger on there.
So
But I
I've
was wondering
talked
if it was
about that.
battery related.
I've talked about that a couple of times, and with the ESCs, the ESC can handle up to like 160 degrees before you really start to have failures on the electronics on the board.
Mhm.
160 degrees is hotter than hell on your fingers. Like if you think about a hot tub, you stick your hand in a hot tub, it's hot. That's 104. Most hot tubs are 104. So you're 60 degrees hotter than that before you start having failures on the board. Now, my 650 LP in the Jimmy's buggy does get hot. It does get hotter than the 500 LP that's in the rear. So the 650 does make more heat in that particular truck. And it does get, I mean, you don't want to hold on to it. You can touch it, but you don't want, like, you wouldn't want to ball it up in your hand. It's hot.
Yeah,
But I haven't had any failures.
yeah. I think mine's gotten kind of like I want to say it's browned out, but it's like it's gotten. I could see like that it wasn't at 100%. Like I'm like, I'm gonna give this dude a break, but at the same time, this is like mid Texas summer, so
Yeah. Couple things. Will the Leafer Extra
that's a
Cab
blister.
sliders be going up on the website? Yes, they will be eventually.
The so I updated them. They're printing right now. I'm gonna test fit them. Uh, I'm printing all the sliders at once, so it's gonna be 3 hours. So I'm probably not. I'm not staying up till 1 again tonight, guys.
No.
I'm so sorry. Dude, my eyes this morning when I was going to work, I was like, "Holy crap, dude!" I was like, "I shouldn't have stayed
Yeah.
this morning."
Thoughts on the new Holmes motor? So Holmes released a new like stumpy in-runner style motor that
Really?
fits that
I'm on
fits
board.
the fits the VFD stubby kit. An in-runner brushless that fits the stubby kit on the VFD twin or VFD transmission. I haven't ran one. I haven't ordered one yet, but it is definitely an interesting motor that I would like to try. In the Holmes Hobbies team page, John has also talked about another motor that I'm interested in that I hope he releases soon because I'll order that one instead. But if you're running a stubby kit and want a brushless motor, and you don't want an outrunner, that's a fantastic option.
Is it a brushless?
Yes.
Okay, I just got off the site. What is it? What series, or is it limited edition?
I don't know. I don't know what he's got it under. Holmes brushless motors, Crawlmaster BL, 540 stubby 10 pole in runner, 1800, 2300, or 3000 kV,
Oh,
and they're affordable.
no, that's actually a good price. So wait,
$80.
it's sensorless, so it's good for like the sine wave
Yep.
ESCs. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I'm in.
And it's small, so and you can run it on 4S.
10
The 3000. Yeah.
Is it waterproof? I'm just kidding. I don't do as much water.
Should be. Off subject, but wanted to say thanks for awesome chassis and my VRD straight axle. Should mention it's a hardline. Thank you. Hardline's definitely a cool chassis. I really like the VRD. The VRD carbon and the VRD stance platform is a fantastic platform. And if you've been around watching the live streams when the VRD carbon first came out, I got one early. Well, I got it the day they were released. I received it the day they were released, and I built it immediately. And I had it, I had it driving that night. And the very first thing I said to my buddy that was here, I was like, "Fuck, this is going to be hard to make better." Like, it's such a good truck that it's hard to make better. But I think we nailed it on 3 different chassis for that truck. So, 3 different options.
El Chapo, I know exactly where your head's at. 3,000 kV on 4S. I know where you're going with that.
That sounds like a fantastic motor to put in an Optic. Because Optic looks like race car, it needs to race car. And factory Optic does not race car.
No. You're going to find that little phony ramrod. You're going to find the limits of that real quick.
Yeah. Anyway, we're 10 minutes after. I know my brother and his wife are already at my house watching the Notre Dame game. I bailed on them to come here tonight to do this with you guys, left them at my house. So I'm going to get out of here, get back home. Oh, fuck. It's 20-7 Ohio State over Notre Dame at the end of the second quarter.
All right, so we're hanging out for another hour is what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe. How much thinner would an SCX 24 Oracle frame versus standard 10 scale frame be? I would make it if I were to make a 24 scale chassis, I would probably use 1.5, either 1 or 1.5 millimeter carbon fiber, which is, a normal one of our normal 10 scale is 1/8 inch or 3.2 millimeters. So it's half or a little less in thickness. But
thinking about it, I wonder, so if you did a 24 frame, I could probably do that thickness in titanium.
I mean, if this 24 scale chassis I did on this Gladiator, if you really want to look at it, ultimately it looks like an S3 high-low mix. Because I took a high-low, you can see the 23 high-low in the back, but then I added a little brace in the middle here because it was pretty flexy, and the front end's chopped off like an S3 would be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fairly a fair hybrid between the two. Which this truck works fairly well too. I need, again, this is one of those trucks that I need to spend some money and buy decent electronics. But I don't care enough about this stuff to spend 10th scale money on 24 scale electronics.
I'm not laughing at the trucks because they look cool, and I have been too cheap.
I mean,
Well, I've been delegating my funds for putting it back into Sever and stuff development because I really want that Lexus. But I'm like, man, I could buy stuff for product development rather than
yeah,
buy some little toy.
yeah.
So I do like it. It's just as soon as I like get one of those in my shopping cart, I'm like, man, I should do something more responsible with this money.
I built this over a year ago, and the factory ESC and receiver took a shit like immediately after I finished building it. I never actually even finished it because I never did cut the chassis out of carbon fiber. I 3D printed the chassis and ran it, and it worked really well. And then almost immediately, the receiver or speed control took a shit. Okay, well, that means I've got to order either a new factory one, and expect it to take a shit again, or I have to buy a receiver and a speed control. And if I'm doing that, I'm going to upgrade the motor. And if I'm doing that, I'm going to upgrade the transmission. Then it turns into this $500 shopping cart because I'm also going to go 3S, which means I need tiny little 3S batteries that I've never owned. So it's like, and I'm not I'm not going to spend $500 on this. It's not happening. It can sit on the shelf and look cool. It's got aftermarket axles and custom links and a custom chassis and an aftermarket servo and wheels and tires and whatever. I probably already have $500 in it, but I'm not going to spend another $500 to never drive it anyway. Like, I've never looked at this truck on the shelf and went, I need to finish that. You know what I mean? Like, it looks cool on the shelf, and that's what it is. You guys picked shipping up to Canada again. Believe all is back to normal. USPS is still not accepting packages to Canada. I don't believe. At least I haven't gotten a notice on it.
We do have that. There's one order that I'm thinking of in particular.
There's two.
Okay.
One for you, one for me.
I could not create a label Friday for it. It would not let me.
Yeah.
On stamps.
So also, we talked about like 3 weeks ago. Someone asked about FedEx. I got on and checked. I added FedEx to the site, and I went to create a general chassis ship, just using the normal dimensions, and it would have been $78.
Oh man!
For not even express to a customer in Canada. Who it was actually one of the current orders that's waiting on us. So I clicked on that like I was going to ship that chassis that this customer's been waiting on, and it was $78 freaking dollars.
He was like, "That was me."
That was me. So I immediately decided that was not an option. It's just not. It's not even something that I want to show as an option to a customer because they're going to add it to their cart and go, "Holy crap! The price doubled." It was literally the same price as this customer's order.
Yeah.
And the order's been pending long enough that I almost shipped it that way. But like at the same time, it's not my fault. Like, you know what I mean? I hate to do that. I actually would have lost money shipping it that way. So it's like, whatever. Anyway, I could almost drive it there. Yeah, like realistically, the Detroit's like 3.5 hours. It's like 3.5 hours. I could get it to the port, the port in Detroit for
hand off. Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go. Just come across the bridge and get it. Like, yeah. anyway, like I said, my brother and his wife are at the house waiting on me, so they're hanging out by the fireplace watching the football game. So if I can get there by the time halftime's over, I'm good with it. So anyway, thanks for checking in with us on another Monday night. If you have any
We're putting in
questions,
overtime, dude.
yeah, that's par for the course for the last week. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right.
Good night.
Thanks everybody. Later.
Take it easy.